I am Anime Facts Man, and here are 15 facts about anime. Number 1. Mad Max was an extremely influential film series for every medium and culture worldwide, directly inspiring many anime series such as Fist of the North Star, which itself in turn was also massively popular and influential in Japan, creating a spiral effect of genre definition until the Mad Max aesthetic was too deeply ingrained into culture to be wholly recognizable as the root point for the leaves on its branches. The director must have been keeping an eye on all this though, as he would incorporate anime staffers onto the visual arts team of Mad Max Fury Road, such as Mahiro Maeda, director of Gankutsuo. Number 2. Among those influenced by this spiral was the OVA MD Geist, often cited as the prime example of what killed the OVA market. Overzealous investors giving projects to underexperienced staff who churned out half-baked, unfinished drivel carried on its genre trope adherence. For some reason though, the president of Central Park Media, one of the main US distribution companies for anime in the 90s, loved MD Geist and made it their company logo. I can't say I hate his bad taste though, because it caused the existence of the dubbing and distribution of Garzy's Wing, legitimately one of my favorite anime experiences. Number 3. The ending theme of Attack on Titan Season 2 was performed by one of my favorite bands, Shinsei Kamate-chan, whom I discovered from the OP of Denpa Onna to Seishun Otoko. Back then, their gender-fluid singer would constantly livestream on Nico Nico Doga, Japan's biggest streaming site besides YouTube, even during live shows. He would release unkempt demo versions of his songs on YouTube with crazy home-shot lyric videos which were massively influential on my own style. Most of his lyrics were about suicide, trauma, gender identity crisis, and being a NEET. Apparently he once got in trouble for cutting himself on stage. Number 4. While on the subject of Shaft OP artists, the band OLH, who did the Natsuno Arashi OP, is a jazz funk outfit with hilariously ironic and cynical song titles and lyrics, such as "The Summer When I Left My Daughter in the Car While Playing Pachinko and She Died." They're worth exploring. Number 5. Little Witch Academia director Yo Yoshinari and his older brother, legendary animator and character designer Ko Yoshinari, co-designed the art assets of the PS2 RPG Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria, a sequel to the PS1 game which Ko also designed for. This is hardly the only time they've worked together, but I just happen to be revisiting this game series right now. Number 6. Studio Gainax was foundational in creating the visual novel genre of video games. One of the studio co-founders was responsible for the Princess Maker game series, a super difficult series of games about raising a perfect princess, which later had an animation tie-in in the form of Petite Princess Yusie, as well as inspiring the Steam game God Save the Queen. The studio also made strip mahjong games featuring their characters, and an Evangelion visual novel in the late 90s which no one seems to remember. Number 7. Hayao Miyazaki credits his interest in making anime to having gone to see Toei's first animated feature film, Hakujaden, over and over in the theaters because the female lead was, quote, like a girlfriend to him in a time when he didn't have one. Literally a waifu. Eventually, he thought about the film enough and realized its structural flaws, and he became determined that he could make a better movie himself. And did so. Number 8. Jun Maeda, writer of many stories about girls inflicted with bizarre and unidentifiable illnesses, such as Air, Canon, Clanad, and Angel Beats, eventually himself fell ill with a bizarre and at first unidentified disease. His condition was later identified as dilated cardiomyopathy, a condition in which his heart literally became too big and needs to be transplanted. This is obviously really unfortunate, but notably ironic given the nature of his work. Number 9. Madoka Magica and Psychopath writer Gen Urobuchi is often credited as working for the visual novel developer Nitro Plus, for which he wrote several games before working on anime. But according to quotes in his interviews, he is also a co-founder and co-owner of the studio, and anything credited to Nitro Plus as a producer is literally a credit partially to him, hence why even his light novels and original film properties are also credited to the company, which means he's also partially owner of the science adventure series IPs, such as Steins Gate and Chaos Head. Number 10. When choosing which instruments his characters would wield in Fooly Cooly, director Kazuya Tsurumaki came to his friend Akitaro Daiichi, director of Kodocha, Now and Then Here and There, Fruits Basket, and Tonkatsu DJ Agataro, among many other things, for advice on instruments, as said director is apparently a huge guitar aficionado with a home collection of vintage instruments. Number 11. Kazuya Tsurumaki's most recent directorial work was The Dragon Dentist OVA, which was also the anime writing debut of out-of-control light novelist Maijo Otaro, whose short story Drill Hole in My Brain that appears in the first volume of the English Faust publication has the main character getting stabbed in the head with a screwdriver and going into a psychosexual journey into his subconscious, in which his crotch becomes a flower which can't stop coming constantly, and also he basically is One Punch Man. It kind of reads like that light novel I wrote in a day, which I suspect it also was. Number 12. Mamoru Hosoda, director of A Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Wolf Children, and Summer Wars, also directed a short film for Louis Vuitton called Superflat Monogram, based around the superflat design philosophy concocted by artist Takashi Murakami, which was a huge influence on the director's visual style. Murakami himself also directed several animated shorts, including the jaw-dropping music video for the Pharrell song It Girl. Number 13. Back in the late 90s, way before they would put together the successful English run of Shonen Jump, Viz had a manga magazine called Pulp, aimed at adult audiences and with badass cover art on most issues, which ran the Banana Fish manga, that's somehow just now a TV anime this season. Number 14. Once upon a time it was discovered that Tom Hack, who composed all of the K-On! OPs, the first two Overlord OPs and third ED, and the Seikon no Quasar EDs, among other things, was dating Yui from K-On!'s voice actress, Toyosaki Aki. A lot of fans reacted like idiots and destroyed their K-On! Merch, but personally I thought it was pretty cool. I guess it didn't last though, cause she just got married to someone else last year. If you learned anything interesting from this video, be sure to seek help. You've gone too far. If you want to void gaze even longer, head to this playlist of all my videos and meet me at the bottom. The bottom is my Patreon. See you tomorrow!